My name is Matt here at MOTU, and to my left is, of course, Jordan Rudess, 1/5 of the progressive rock band Dream Theater, 50% of the reunited Rudess Morgenstein project, playing Tarkus today. Let's talk a little bit about what we've got new for 2013 here at the NAMM show from MOTU. We're going to be debuting Symphonic Instrument 2. It looks really amazing, some wonderful graphical elements. Everything that you need is right at your fingertips with it, which is really cool. Everything that you want to adjust is right there. So if you're a tweaker, you want to get in there and fix those orchestra sounds, make them sound exactly the way you want to, you can do that. Some really cool convolution reverb. Approximately 16 gigabytes of sampling. That changes by the day. They keep adding more and more neat things into this library. As you can see, lots of different libraries for us to check out. Some nice brass, violin, woodwind sounds, some individual instruments, harp and guitar, choir. So whether you want to build an ensemble on your own or whether you want to use a pre-made ensemble, so you can use a string sound, or you can load up violins, violas, cellos, basses, and have them automatically play in the correct ranges. It's really, really, really cool. Historical instrument complete with skulls. I wonder how we took that picture. It's been upgraded to use the UVI Engine XT. What that means to you is that we have 64-bit compatibility. All right, now that is awesome. 64-bit compatibility in both Mac and Windows platforms. So running in 64-bit, very, very cool. You can load up a lot of stuff. As I said before, in addition to being on its own, you can load this sound into the MachFive software sampler. So you can take your Symphonic Instrument 2 sounds, open them up on their own in its own plugin, or load it up as a MachFive sound bank, which is really cool. When we're talking about MachFive, of course, we're talking about software that is truly spectacular. Their words, not mine. Computer Music and Music Radar voted it the best soft sampler of the year. So we're really proud of that. MachFive has the ear cam technology inside for time and pitch stretching. We'll take a look at that today. You can use it as a creative tool, but you can also use it just when you're making your own samples. The time and pitch stretching technology allows you a lot of flexibility in making some really cool samples and perhaps not having to sample every single note of your instrument. It's really good quality. MachFive comes with the Biosphere that we'll demo today. The Biosphere is a collection of synth patches. Some of them are sampled from your favorite classic synths of old, and some of them are actually generated by MachFive's extremely powerful synth engine. So MachFive is really becoming a platform in 2013. We have so many third-party developers like Rocket Mix developing presets for the synth engine and for the expander filter. We've got VI Labs launching True Keys Piano, a beautifully sampled piano that we're going to check out later today. I think you guys are really going to love it. And we've got, of course, our partner UBI Net launching just a tremendous amount of sound banks. You can see there's so many available sounds. You just download the UFS sample disk, you put it in the MachFive folder with the rest of your sample disks, and you're good to go. They load up and look exactly as if you got them with MachFive. So really, really great stuff. And we're also at NAMM this year launching our MacProVideo.com launching the MachFive Unleashed training series. So if you want to get a little bit more into your own MachFive use and programming, you can get the MachFive Unleashed from MacProVideo.com. So lots of great things. Let's dig into it a little bit. Let's check out what we got going on with MachFive. I mentioned the ear cam technology inside for time and pitch stretching, and I'd like to just load up a little bit of a sample here. So what I've got here is a sample. It's a sample of a pretty famous keyboard patch that I'm sure, if you're a keyboard player, you have had to make at one time in your life or another. So we sampled the beginning of that keyboard sound. Now, recreating that keyboard sound with a synth engine is a big pain in the butt. There's lots of filters involved, there's lots of sound involved, and when you're done, you get a sound that is close to, but certainly not exactly like, the original sound. I remember when sampling first started to come out, I was very excited because I said, wow, I don't have to make that sound anymore. I can just sample it right off of there and then use it live. The only problem I had, I sampled that sound, and then when I would try to play it on the C chord in the song, it would play ridiculously fast. And now it's kind of not really usable anymore. I can't use that in the song. But using the ear cam time and pitch stretching technology, it will slice it up and shift the pitch for you, but maintain the tempo data. All I have to do is switch it over from sample to ear cam stretch, and now That same sound, when I play it on a C, maintains its tempo data. So it's actually usable for the end of the song. You can play them together. And as you can hear, even at different pitches, they stay together completely in sync. So if you are a tweaker, if you're a sampler and you have to use samples live, this is an incredibly useful tool because you can keep the BPM of your sample no matter what. It's really cool. While we're talking about sampling, let's talk about how easy it is to make your own samples in MachFive 3. So some of you may have your own custom sample libraries at home, or you have, like me, a couple of vintage keyboards that you really like. I've got a Yamaha DX7. I love my Yamaha DX7. It's got some really great sounds. I sampled some sounds off this Yamaha DX7 before I left the house. I sampled every fourth note, knowing that MachFive 3's time and pitch stretching technology will fill in the blanks for me and it'll still be of good quality. But I'd love to show you how quick you can do this. It took me about 8 to 9 minutes to sample all these notes. So all I have to do is take my MachFive 3 window, drag and drop these samples in, and it will automatically read the note names off the file names. So if you look at the file names, I've got D2, A flat 4, all that stuff. It's just going to automatically map it for me. I'll hit OK, and bam, there you go. So the samples are mapped. I can select them all. I can right-click them, and then just go to Auto Extend, and now those samples automatically have custom velocities built into them. So as you can see, I've got a multi-layered sound here. I can take this multi-layered sound, kind of stretch it out a little bit. I sampled 2 different sounds. If I play softly, my Yamaha DX7 glockenspiel sound. But if I play hard, a different Yamaha DX7 sound patch. So I just did that. Now, that's not necessarily a great layered sound. That's 2 completely different DX7 sounds. But for those of you that have multi-timbral sounds that you want to sample, it is so quick and easy. You don't have to sit and get mired down in hours of programming. As you can see, you can do it literally in a minute or 2. It's very, very easy to do. Okay, so let's talk about the synth engine. And I think for the synth engine, it would be great to have Jordan play a little bit. MachFive 3 has a built-in synth engine, a collection of patches called the Biosphere that has some sampled patches. As you can see, Jordan's got a sampled patch right here, but in addition to that, we've also got a synth engine patch right here. So right here is just using a simple analog oscillator, a sine wave that's running through a couple of different filters, and the Biosphere has a combination of both. So why don't I let Jordan just sort of play through some sounds and talk to you about this patch he's got.
Thank you. So on this first layout, what I have is the low keys on my keyboard assigned to different sounds. And it's kind of cool because these sounds are like, these keys are out of the way. So if I hit like the low A, I would get this sound. The B flat gives me this. The B gives me kind of a pad sound. If I hit the C, it gives me. And on the C sharp, I've got a drum groove. All right? So as I'm performing, I can use this kind of to my advantage. I can hit like A and B flat together and get a layer. Maybe the 3 keys and get a fuller layer. If I want to bring in that nice rhythmic bass, I hit them all. So you can see it makes for a very nice kind of performance situation. And I can have as many sounds on different keys as I want. Back to you, Matt.
Awesome. So as you saw, he's using key switches to kind of switch between all these sounds. And For those of you that really like to get deep into the synthesis programming, you don't have to use MOTU's presets if you don't want to. They give you a ton of presets in that biosphere, but if you want to, you can, from scratch, just create any sort of synthesis you want here. An analog oscillator, an analog stack, a group of 8 oscillators if you want. You can stack multiple ones, get 16, 32, however many you want. You've got a noise generator. You've got FM synthesis with operators. So if you really like to do FM synthesis, you can sort of program this wavetable, drum synthesis, organ synthesis. So you can really get deep into this and change that sound to be however you want. You can use the presets or you can start completely from scratch. It's really cool. So I thought it would be cool if we take a look at some more advanced key switching. As Jordan was saying, he's got a lot of different sounds assigned to the bottom notes of his keyboard. If you don't have a controller that has lots of knobs and buttons and you still want to change patches or change synth sounds, you can use key switches. The lower notes of the keyboard or the higher notes, or really any note you want, you can assign that note to switch sounds. For those of you that have multiple keyboards, you can assign more than one note to more than one keyboard. So you can have both keyboards independently switching sounds, or you can have one keyboard switching the sounds for both. It works completely independently or together, whichever way you like it. So I've got a little track here with a bass line, and I have a key switch set up to switch to play a little piano. And we're going to just do this track. Jordan's going to rotate through a whole bunch of different leads from the biosphere. I'll lay down a bass line and let that go, and I'll play a little bit of a keyboard like piano accompaniment, and we'll kind of do this little jam together where our key switches will hopefully live in 2 separate worlds.
Awesome.
All right, let's try it. So key switching, thanks.
Thank you.
So it's really neat that you can kind of, if you wanted to control both keyboards with one, you could, but if you want 2 keyboards, 3 keyboards, 5 keyboards completely living independently of each other, MachFive 3 is a really great and useful, powerful performance tool to do that. All right, so we just heard some cool synth sounds. Let's go for some actual nice sampled instruments. I'd like to bring up one of our third-party instruments, an instrument called True Keys. This is an amazing piano sampled by VI Labs, and it fits, as you can see, right into MachFive 3. You get one file, they can give it to you on a USB drive, or you can download it, you just pop it into your MachFive 3 samples folder, and away you go. It has full scripting support, it has 50,000 samples, multiple mic positions, and you can load those mic positions on the fly, as you can see right here. String resonance, everything you can want in a really beautiful piano. They've got an American, German, and Italian grand, depending on what nationality piano you prefer. Why don't we have Jordan play a little bit on the American one? Amazing.
Thank you.
We have to find some way to make every copy of True Keys also come with a free copy of Jordan Rudess. We have to figure out how to, we're working on that.
Anything is possible,
Yeah. All right, so we just took a listen to a really lovingly and carefully sampled grand piano. Let's hear one that was completely and utterly destroyed by dumping a whole bunch of garbage pieces of things and whatever we could find laying around on the floor. And those of you that are smiling, I know I'm talking about the EarCam prepared piano. So we have a really cool sampled prepared piano which has some screws dumped on the keys, or perhaps some clothespins, or paper, dice, baby shoes, whatever it is that we could find laying around the studio. You actually can adjust what you want to hear if you want more dice or less baby shoes in your sound, whatever it is that you happen to have in there to prepare, with key switches. And I believe Jordan's got a couple of different patches set up with this one where he's bringing in some different stuff.
Yeah, why do we love this one so much? Just the idea of like destroying a beautiful Steinway grand is special to the male part of our experience.
It is. It feels...
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you start out with the nice piano, and you quickly can destroy it, in this case by playing different low keys. You can only imagine what they actually put inside this piano. That one, and also so I can play around, bring in different keys, and kind of create something maybe slightly bizarre.
Yeah.
As long as they don't do it to my Steinway at home, I'm okay with it.
Yeah. So I'd love to just close things out by talking a little bit about MSI 2, and I'm talking about MOTU Symphonic Instrument 2. So as you can see, I have it hosted right here inside MachFive 3 as a UFS expanded instrument, but you can run it in standalone if you don't have MachFive 3 or as a plug-in. They're really incredibly sounded instruments. I think that we kind of just took a look at what was great about MSI and how can we expand upon that and bring a new level of control and articulation. So we've got a couple of different patches up here, a nice string ensemble, some horns, and it's odd because when I first heard Jordan playing on this, I thought that he probably had a 40 or 50 piece, sample loaded up, but really he's got just two different sounds. But using the key switching, he's going to load up some different articulations. I'll let him talk to you about that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It does sound like there's more going on than really what it is. I have 4 keys assigned to different things. Basically, I have sustained strings. I've got the Marcato strings. So I can alternate between them, and a lot of you guys might not be, quote-unquote keyboard players, but you might be really good in the studio, in which case what you want to do is play your line down. Let's see you go. And then later on, you could actually do the articulations by putting in the key. You could go. Do exactly what you want to do. But what I like to do is I like to do this thing live, because first of all it's a lot of fun and it's also very effective. So I have the strings with Marcato and also sustain, but I also have horns with sustain. As well as so I can group them together. I can play the horns and the strings as sustain. Or as Marcato. Or mix them up, so I can do like... I need a timpani and the woodwinds, and that'll take a few more hours of programming, which will be fun.
2 instruments. It's pretty amazing. So I want to thank Jordan for playing today. Really great.
Thank you.
So
thanks, everybody.
Symphonic Instrument 2, MachFive 3's platform, all great new exciting things coming from MOTU in 2013. We hope that you guys have a great NAMM show, and we'll see you later.
Thanks, everybody. See ya.